Today, I'm going to give you a look inside of level 2 of Training Aliens, and I'm going to share with you guys my experience after using level 1 of Training Aliens in our homeschool co-op this past year, answering your most frequently asked questions and giving you a really good idea if this curriculum would be a good fit for you and your family. So let's get started. So what is Training Aliens? Training Aliens is a social and emotional curriculum designed to teach a wide variety of ages. It is designed to be going from kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. Now, I personally did not teach any 8th graders this curriculum, and I don't know that I would with this particular curriculum, but I definitely think it is great for kindergarten, maybe even some pre-K depending on how you adapt it, all the way up to a 4th or 5th grade level. I even taught a 6th grader with it, and she was engaged as well. So definitely think this is a great curriculum for a wide variety of ages. The curriculum comes with 2 different books. Now, both of these are actually teacher resources and are definitely needed to complete the curriculum. The beautiful thing about this curriculum is that there are no student books required. The 2 books that you'll find is the storybook. These are the lessons that you're going to read aloud with your kids. Training Aliens is all about a group of aliens that have come to Earth and a group of camper children that are there to learn how they can help these aliens learn the rules of Earth, how we interact with one another, what makes good friends, and so on and so forth. So each of the lessons has these short stories. They're about 3 to 4 pages long with questions that you can ask your child to get engagement and get them really thinking about what they would do in this specific situation. Just like with level 1, you're going to see at the end 2 different options of how the story can end. This is sort of like a choose your own adventure. Are we going to do things like tell Jax he can't study in his room? Or are we going to do things like suggesting studying in the library? Then you'll get to actually read what happens when we make that choice. This was something my kids really enjoyed and look forward to, and I'm excited to get into it again in level 2. This is the teacher's manual, and this is going to take you through all 16 lessons that are involved in this curriculum. It's going to give you a wide variety of different activities that you can do with your kids. So let's take a look and see what kind of options they have for each of the lessons. So first thing you should note is that I got the faith-based training manual, but they do have a secular-based training manual as well, especially if you are using government funds and can't get faith-based curriculum. You can still choose the secular-based for you and your family. For a table of contents, they are going through 4 different units, talking about things like friendship and communication, emotion management, group membership, and problem solving. They're covering 16 different missions or lessons on a variety of topics like procrastination, secrets, responsibility, focus, gossip, leadership, teasing, respecting authority, clutter, grief, self-control, worry, kindness, communication boundaries, humility, and making friends. Within each lesson, you're going to have a note to the teacher that's going to give you more information. You're going to have a fun chart or activity. You can either photocopy these to use in your classroom, or they do have them available digitally that you can print off and use with your kids as sort of take-home homework. Within this, you're going to see different activities like discussion questions. They have a video that your child can watch and learn from, and again, questions for that. They have opportunities for them to practice and learn through play. They have different missions that they have to do. So like here are some icebreaker questions you could ask somebody, like, do you have any hobbies? Do you have any pets? If not, what pet would you like to have? And so on and so forth. Then they have these charts that I mentioned before. These can be printed off for your kids or photocopied, and they are going to work on practicing these skills they've learned, and they're going to chart how well they've done it. This was great for my kiddos because we were doing our co-op every other week, so it gave them 2 weeks to be able to practice the skill that we were learning about. There's also the opportunity for review, and it's broken up into 3 steps, so you can do it over 3 days, or for us, we did it in 1 day every 2 weeks. There's opportunities for study because this is the faith-based manual. They have the opportunity to read a Bible story that illustrates that topic and has questions or things for you to discuss. More play-based opportunities, some that are better for smaller groups and some that are better for individuals, like a getting to know you bingo. And then, of course, you've got picture books that you can choose from. They have a list online that you'll get access to, that you can choose a book that you want to read or a couple books that you want to read about this topic. And again, more play-based opportunities for learning. They have a themed snack and a themed craft oftentimes that you can do alongside these missions. I didn't utilize those personally, but I did like the opportunity to have them as an option. So level 2 compared to level 1, they are dealing with different skills or taking skills they've previously worked on and going a little bit deeper. It's really taking them from those beginner social skills and emotional skills to a more intermediate level. I love the fact that there's still a lot of the same things that we loved from before. The fact that this curriculum is offered digitally or physically, so you can have it in the format of your choice. It is both offered in, like I said, the faith-based and the secular-based option. So for that secular-based option, instead of having Bible stories that illustrate the different points, they would have a parable or an Aesop's fable that would illustrate that particular point. There is still no student workbook, no formal worksheets involved. Like I said, it's more so those fun charts to track their practice that are going to be involved for your kids. And this is something that you can use with your co-op without having to pay additional licensing fees, which is always a huge thing, especially like for us where we have a very small co-op and a very small budget. What I've really loved with this curriculum is that they have all of those variety of activities that you can choose from. So if you want to do this 3 days a week, you would have plenty of options. Even if you wanted to pick and choose from the options listed for each day, you could do that, or you could enjoy all of the activities. But as a homeschool co-op teacher, I really liked the fact that I could go in, I could pick and choose and still have lots of variety in the activities that we were doing. I could base it on what age group I was working with and which ones kind of geared a little bit younger or maybe a little bit older, or I could gear it towards those specific kids and the things that I knew they could use extra practice in. I love the fact that it is play-based, that it has literature suggestions and those great videos that go along with the lesson, because it made it really open and go for me as a teacher. I love the fact that it doesn't just teach your kids about these skills, but it opens up those conversation points, because if you want to truly develop these emotional skills or these social skills, you have to put them into practice. You have to wrestle with them. You have to start talking about how does this apply in this situation or how does this apply in that situation, and this curriculum does all of that for you. Now, a few questions that I do see asked quite a bit since I started talking about this last year when the first Training Aliens curriculum came out is, can this be used with one kid? Yes, it can. Now, there are some activities, like I said, that might be better for larger groups versus an individual child, but you can use it with one child. Another thing is, can you skip lessons or move around? For our particular co-op, we actually were just shy of that 16-week lesson time frame because we meet every other week. And so because of that, I did skip over a lesson or two, finding those that were most applicable for my children, and there was no gap there. My kids didn't feel like they were missing out, and it wasn't like they built so much on the previous topic that they couldn't keep up with what we were talking about now. Now, there are a few lessons that do kind of build on each other a little bit more, so maybe just pre-read if you're planning on skipping a lesson and make sure it's not one of those. Even if it is though, if you just pre-read what came before it, you could give a quick summary for your child to be able to keep them going on with the learning. So whether you're a parent, a homeschool teacher, or co-op teacher, and you're looking for ways to teach your kids these important skills in a fun, hands-on way, you should definitely go check out this curriculum. I'll leave a link down in the description below. And if you want to learn more about Grammar Galaxy, which is another fun to learn book that from the same company, I'll leave a playlist here that you can learn more about that there too.